Hi everyone, I'm Mackayla. Welcome to the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. We're going to jump right in with the two hardest questions of all. Who are you and what have you been up to recently?
Hi, my name is Erin Lunsford. It's nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me. I'm a singer and songwriter, a musician based in Richmond, Virginia. What was the second question?
What have you been up to recently?
What I've been up to recently. Honestly, today I've been upholstery cleaning a couch. So not very exciting, but honestly, it's all I can think about because I've been doing it for hours.
That's something to do though.
Mhm.
What kind of couch?
A free couch, which is the most important part.
Yes.
So it has a little bit of a smell to it, and I'm trying to get it to have zero smell
Mm-hmm.
because it was a gift and I want to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's a gift, you want to make it work.
Yeah.
And a couch is a couch.
Yes, exactly. Couch furniture is so expensive. I don't know how people do it all the time. So
It is. It's an investment in your future.
it is, yeah. So we'll see what happens. We might be still investing in something else if I can't get the smell out.
But you got to try.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so you put a song out recently. Can you share any or talk about that?
Yeah, I've been putting out a lot of music recently. So I started releasing singles for my upcoming album this past June. So I've released three so far, and I've got another one coming out this week actually. But the last one was called Strawberries, and I released it at the end of August. And it's a community care anthem. So it's all about, the proverbial garden and how we can all partake in the garden where everyone is welcome. We care for each other. It's full of native plants and animals, and it's thriving because we're thriving. And it's kind of an idyllic song of the future that I hope for us to have.
That I think, yeah, we need a lot of that hope right now.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, so you have an album coming out. How exciting!
Yeah, thank you.
So, how do you choose which songs to put out as singles?
Ooh, good question. Don't know the exact answer to that. I'm still figuring it out. Kind of just finding my way and seeing what feels right in the moment. Some of it is dependent on which songs actually get finished in time. But I was trying to paint a picture with these first couple of songs to reestablish my identity as an artist. I have another project that's kind of an indie pop soul thing, and then my Erin Lunsford music is more Americana, indie folk kind of stuff. So I haven't released music under my Erin Lunsford moniker for like 5 years. So I was trying to set the stage with these first few singles to kind of establish my sound, do a little bit of storytelling about who I am, and then I think I'll get a little bit more niche with the songs that I release as we get closer to the album.
So, with it being 5 years, why does now feel like the right time to come back to this project?
Yeah, so in 2020 is when I released my last record, and it was a flop. Maybe it was always going to be a flop, but I released it in April of 2020. So my tour didn't happen, none of my publicity happened.
Yeah.
I sat, and still have of just a ton of merch from that album release that I just never got to tour and promote and sell to people. So I'm really proud of that album, but it never did what I wanted it to.
Hmm.
The timing of it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So I was kind of licking my wounds a little bit. Also had just so many songs to parse through from the last 5 years. So in 2024, I really hit like a growth spurt of songs. And then I was suddenly like, oh my gosh, like I love this body of music. Now is the time. It just kind of felt like it came to a head. And I had so much art that I was really proud of that made sense to go on an album together. Um, so yeah, I think I just needed a minute to kind of catch my breath after that failure.
Yeah. I mean, just the timing of everything did not help.
Yeah, it was weird. We did our best, but it
Hmm.
was there's just not much you can do when everybody was stuck at home. So,
Right. And no one was listening to music because everyone at that time was just so panicked about what was happening.
true. Yeah.
So maybe, if it hadn't been the pandemic, could have been the best album in the world, but we'll never know.
That's very kind and optimistic of you to say. Maybe if it had been the best album in the world, it would have done well either way, but also I'm being a little hard on myself. Um, but yeah, I think it's great. It didn't get to spread its wings.
Yeah, and hopefully now with this new album that you're going to put out, people will go back and revisit the other album.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
So, with having 5 years worth of music, how did you choose which songs are going to be on the album?
Yeah, it is tough. Each song that I make is a special part of me in a way, and I feel connected to all of them, and sometimes different songs feel more important at different times than others. So
Hmm.
I try to weigh a few different things. I try to get my friends and family's input on like which of these songs really speaks to you and catches in your head, you know. I try to ask my audiences as well. Just try to get a little bit of a temperature gauge of, which ones are standing out to people.
Yeah.
And then occasionally there are some that I'm just like, oh, this is my heart song. Like I have to release this one. It means so much to me.
So, when you're writing a song, what does that process look like for you?
Usually things start with a chorus, like some kind of general idea for a song. I like to call it my thesis statement. Like I get an idea for the general message that I want to offer, and then I kind of like story build and world build around that idea with the verses and stuff. So I usually start with um, a, a chorus or some kind of hook lyrics, and then eventually I get into the music part of it. Sometimes they're hand in hand. Sometimes the hook will come down the line or come through me with music already.
Mhm.
It's all of the above.
How would you say that this album differs from your past album?
Ooh, good question. My last album was very singer-songwriter, so it was a lot of voice and guitar. Um, it was beautiful, but it wasn't very built up. I wanted it to be kind of representative of what you would see if you came to see me live.
Hmm.
But this album that I'm releasing singles from and I'm leading up to is very filled out. It has a lot of instrumentation. Like six or seven of the songs have just a full band on them. So it feels bigger. It feels like an evolution of the music. Um, Also, my 2020 album, I described it as a coming of age journey album.
Hmm.
And I feel like I'm now just writing about my identity and living my true life and being my true self. So a lot of the songs on this album are more celebratory of where I'm at, and um, still touch on some of the same themes, but it's a little more of a declaration and a celebration than a finding of who I am.
I mean, 5 years does that.
Yeah, for sure.
Allows you to find yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you wanted the first album to sound like the same as how you sound live. So for somebody who hasn't seen you live, how would you describe that experience?
My live show is very vocal heavy. I say that I'm a vocalist first, like that's my first instrument. Um, and I love to do storytelling. So I love to explain the idea behind a song and try to let people connect to it so they
Hmm.
know where I'm coming from. And hopefully they can also connect to it in their own way if they know the backstory a little bit. Also, I like to think that I have great witty banter on stage, but you guys can be the judge of that. So I play acoustic guitar, I play banjo, I play a little bit of piano, but for my live show, it's usually acoustic guitar and banjo, and then me singing.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite instrument to play?
Ugh, I don't know. I go back and forth between acoustic guitar and banjo. I love them both. Um, I wish that I played the fiddle. Like I think that's one of my favorite instruments to listen to. And I got a fiddle, but I don't know how to play it yet.
There's plenty of time to learn.
Yes, I'm looking forward to learning. I'm gonna try.
That'd be very cool to add to your mix of instruments.
Yeah, I think it would fit too, but it's a hard instrument, so we'll see.
Yeah, very challenging. But hey, in the next 5 years before the next, or hopefully not 5 years, but
Yeah.
you could take another 5 years to learn the fiddle.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you believe in me. Thank you.
You can do it. If you can spend a whole day cleaning a couch, you can learn the fiddle.
You're right. You're right. I can do hard things.
Yeah. You just got to commit. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, you're so right. That is the hardest part. Honestly, just the scheduling of the lesson. It's that initial, it's like if you're going to schedule therapy or anything,
Hmm.
getting on the phone and talking to somebody and scheduling it is the hardest part.
It really is. I always tell myself I can always cancel or
That's
reschedule.
that's a great thing to keep in mind. Yeah.
And
So
then
true.
it seems less scary.
Yeah. You're in control the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that happens all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And and with the music stuff, like I should just feel excited. So I just need to go for it.
You'd
And
still
if I
feel scared.
absolutely have to cancel, I could.
I think being scared of something new is a very natural way to feel about it.
True.
I
That's true. It's very human.
mean, that's how you know you're excited.
Also that, yeah, we got to do things that scare us.
Yeah, isn't that what Eleanor Roosevelt said? You should do something that scares you every day.
Yes. Way to pull out a quote like that. Badass.
It's one of my favorite quotes.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Speaking of, quotes and advice, for someone who's kind of just starting this journey of,
Mhm.
being a solo artist, what advice would you give them?
Hmm. Um, I think if I could go back and tell myself or any other artist who's starting out, one thing that I wish I had knew back then is that less is more.
Hmm.
So I wish that I had done less runs, done less embellishment of the melody, done, you know, tried to just serve the song and serve music instead of trying to showcase talent
Hmm.
necessarily. And that's something I'm still learning all the time. Another thing I would say is try to not write to trends or write to what you think people want to hear because I think the coolest art comes from people who are writing just what they feel and being truly uniquely themselves.
Hmm.
Um, I know a lot of the artists that I have fallen in love with are just weird and do exactly their thing, you know? They're not, you know, pop radio doing what other people are doing necessarily. I love that stuff too. But I think for an artist starting out, the way to carve your path is to carve a new path.
Who are some of the major influences on this album?
Hmm. The Chicks are coming up a lot for me in reference tracks. Also, Casey Musgraves. Big fan of hers. Uh, who else do I love? Dolly Parton. Big Dolly Parton fan. Um, other sounds. I always go back to the soundtrack from this movie. The movie's called Cold Mountain. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not.
It's from 2003, stars Nicole Kidman and Jude Law, and it's a Civil War era romance. It's based on a book, but whatever. The movie is gorgeous and devastatingly sad. Heads up. But the soundtrack is mwah, chef's kiss. It's so beautiful. It's so moving, and it has a lot of uh, kind of throwback roots and folk music in it.
Mhm.
Um, it's got like shout singing and shape note singing and really gorgeous vocals by a bluegrass artist, Alison Krauss, who I love. She's also an amazing fiddle player. So, anyways, I always go back to that song for influence. Sorry, that album for influences as well.
So, is that movie also your favorite movie?
It is. Yep.
That makes
I'm
sense if it's
warning you
also
though,
your
it's
favorite
very
soundtrack.
sad. Okay. Like, warning.
Like The Notebook sad?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, heads up.
Okay. That is a good warning. I feel like movies should have like that they're gonna be sad going into
Yeah.
it.
You get a heads up a little bit so you can prepare yourself.
Right. Because like how else are you supposed to know if that moment is the right moment to watch a sad movie? Like
Yeah.
you need to know
And,
how sad
and
it's
I
gonna
was
be.
13 when it came out, so I was just like, "Oh my God. like that movie was very formative for how I thought of myself and like how I carried myself around then,
Hmm.
which was to say I was dramatic. But I guess everybody is at 13.
Yeah, I would say most 13-year-olds are dramatic. So therefore that genre of movie is very good when you're 13.
True. It hits different.
It still hits when you're older, but very different when you're 13.
Yeah.
So before I ask the last question, is there anything else you want to mention or talk about today?
I guess could I just say about my next song that's coming out?
Yeah, share whatever you want to share.
Okay, cool. So I've got one more single coming out. It'll be the last one for 2025, and then I'll pick it up again in the new year. But the song is called Crossing Belvedere, and it's about Belvedere Bridge, which is a spot here in Richmond that crosses the James River. And I'm just really proud of this song. It's kind of a lament about my career and feeling like I'm spinning my wheels in Richmond and also being so in love with Richmond, and the music scene here. I wrote it after I had crossed Belvedere Bridge and then I hit a pothole so hard that it broke the axle in my car.
Oh no.
And I was just having a freaking day about it. And I was so upset. And I had a show later that night. And I was like, how am I going to do music if I don't have a car?
Hmm.
So I was feeling very woe is me. And anytime anything happens with my car, I feel like my world starts spiraling. Like it just feels so much bigger than it needs to be. But also that week before, the genocide in Gaza had just begun. So I was just, everything was put into perspective of how lucky I am. I am safe right now. I am okay. And my troubles are really small. So it's about like the resiliency of trying to keep pursuing a dream and checking my emotions and allowing space for me to feel things, but
Yeah.
also, having a reality check. So anyways, that comes out on Friday, October 17, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear it.
Awesome. That sounds like it's going to be really good.
Thanks.
So, our last question is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
Ooh. I mean, I listed one of them. That's a great question. I should have known you were going to ask that. That's so clever. Okay, so I will say the Cold Mountain soundtrack, but also the Oh Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack is another one of my favorite go-tos, and I listen to it all the time. Um, but standalone album by an artist, is that kind of the idea?
It's very open-ended because
Very
it's your
open.
life.
Okay, cool. I feel like I probably have too many answers for this, but
That's okay.
the other one that comes to mind is the album Little Sparrow by Dolly Parton. My mom and I used to listen to it in the car rides, back and forth from fiddlers conventions when I was growing up, and we know every word to it and would sing it in, 3 or 5 part harmonies or whatever. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of Dolly Parton albums that would apply to. And then the other part of the question, or part of the answer that comes to mind for me is, singing with my mom is part of the soundtrack of my life. She taught me all the instruments that I know, and she's a singer and a songwriter also. So um, my time spent making music with her is a huge part of my soundtrack.
That's awesome. So, for all of our listeners who want to stay updated on you, hear the new single and the new album when it comes out, where can they find you?
You can find me at Erin Lunsford Music pretty much everywhere, I think.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me
Thank
today.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the thoughtful questions.
Oh, of course. Have a nice rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.